This is a fragmentation. So basically what that means is we have a consciousness that is in one focus, right? Here I am, focus on this camera, focus on you. But if I have an aspect that is triggered with shame right now, part of my consciousness is going to go in that direction. It's going to split off. And it's going to stay in that feeling of shame while this other part of me, which is focused on you, is going to avoid that at all costs. Because if I look at that, it's not going to feel good. It's going to feel extremely uncomfortable. So what I do is I focus on you because I don't want to be focused on that shame, right? And when we do that, we dilute the consciousness that is streaming forward. We dilute our own focus, right? We dilute our own mechanism for manifestation and creating our lives. Now, when we see that shame, when we integrate it, when we just be with it, literally, we just be with it, we just be present with it, that is when we integrate it, right? And when we integrate it, it's literally like, if you can imagine a river that is flowing into the ocean, this river has streams that shoot off of it. Now, imagine that river is flowing super slow, especially when the river is low, right? When the water is low. But if you can imagine that none of those streams shot off the edge, right? And they were all in that one flow of the river would be gushing forward so fast. And that is what happens when we integrate our consciousness, when we integrate these aspects of shame. When we focus, when we allow ourselves to integrate and focus on that one thing without these, distractions and the shame and all of that other stuff, we are so powerful. We are so powerful. Souls. This is your intuitive yogi coach, Concha Joy, and today we are going to be doing a beautiful oracle spread. If you don't know, the moon is in Aries, my rising is Aries. Of course, we're feeling good. We're feeling, how the Aries is. Aries, I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit of the most, I would say, immature sign of the deck, because sometimes us Aries, we sometimes say things without thinking, right? I'm not gonna lie, okay? Sometimes I do that. But, everybody wants love. Everybody needs love. And anyways, this moon in Aries is all about stepping into your own power, stepping into who you are, stepping into your own empowerment, okay? Aries might be one of the most immature signs, right? But I will tell you this. This is about feeling empowerment, right? The only chakra in our energy system that actually is a fire chakra that has the fire burning is our solar plexus, right? So right at the stomach area, right at the soul, that's the solar plexus, baby. So it's really just this fire power. Fire represents, of course, we know, right? The rising of the phoenix, burning down, just eradicating everything that we thought we knew and really finding what is more aligned, what is more, in tune with who it is that we are, what it is that we want, who we want to be as in our lives, right? Everything about that. Not only that, but this fire energy, it really is, right? A humorous type of energy, right? And everybody loves humor, okay? So today what I thought would be really cool is to do a full-on oracle spread for the energies right now. Today is February 15th. I'm going to be reading it for February 15th till the end of February. Okay, so got some Teal Swan frequency paintings here. This is going to set the energy tone. Okay, this painting, I can't remember the exact names of the paintings, but I'm going to tell you what they represent. All right, this one is about, so in our time-space reality, we have to see what we don't want in order to see what it is that we do want, right? How do we know straight if we don't know crooked? How do we know happy if we don't know sad? How do we know excited if we don't know, just dull and lifeless? Okay, so this frequency is all about, instead of having to go into that negative, it's just about going forward, right? So we might have just a touch of that negativity. We don't have to be dwelling in it in order to move forward, right? In order to see what it is that we want and how we want to live. All right, so we have This one is the frequency of, financial abundance, right? Financial flow, financial gain. This one, I'm going to have to put it in the link below because I cannot remember what it is. I have so many of her paintings all over this whole space. And this is just, I can't remember what that one is. Okay, so we're going to have to figure it out later. Okay, got some artwork up here as well, but we're going to be focusing on these. Okay, so today I want to talk about what cards we're going to be using. I'm going to be pulling some of her frequency tarot, right? Frequency tarot deck. I'm going to be pulling some cards from that. And then I'm also going to be pulling from the blind spot. And these are no joke. Both of these decks are going to call your ass out. Okay, so if you are listening to this, you are meant to be here. This is your reading. And these decks are no joke. They're not for the faint of heart. So if you cannot handle, facing something, then you're going to want to click off this video. Okay, I don't recommend clicking off because you're here for a reason. But if you cannot handle, this is intense. This is intense stuff. This is intense work. And that's what I love, baby. Okay, so we're going to get right into it, all right? By the way, I wanted to share this with you. So I'm working with a client who she says her boyfriend it's not really her boyfriend, but someone that she really, really adores. She had to break it off with him because he's being so angry and like lashing out and just having, really aggressive way of speaking, really aggressive way of interacting. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that before I get into the cards. Okay, so typically with anger, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because, right now in this time of our world, we're in this quarantine space. There's a lot of, atrocities happening. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of things that are going to make you feel disempowered. And the reason why people get angry is because they feel disempowered. And so that's what I was telling her. And so in order for him to truly get help, he needs to figure out what he is disempowered about, or he needs to find a sense of empowerment. So I wanted to share this with you, which is that if you're feeling angry about something, if you're feeling upset, high chances are that you're feeling really disempowered about something in your life, something that you maybe have no control over. Maybe it's something that has really affected you and maybe it even continues to affect you. And what you need to do is find that sense of empowerment. So how do we do this? Because we all want to feel a sense of empowerment, but how do we actually do that? And what I told this client is that she needs to tell her partner, her friend, this guy, that when he's having an episode where he's feeling really angry, when you're feeling highly emotional, you need to change the pattern by simply just sitting with it, right? Because what I told her is that he's going to have an explosion and he's going to want to say things. He's going to want to lash out. He's going to want to express in a negative and angry way. And so what needs to happen is instead of having an explosion, I told her this, he needs to have an implosion, right? An implosion, right? He basically needs to sit with this feeling, which this is the work, right? This is the work that we do. When we talk about that the work is hard, it's hard because we really have to overcome mental and emotional constructs that we may be completely used to, and our nervous system is going to be affected. So instead of lashing out, we need to go within when we're at that peak point, when we're feeling angry, when we're feeling upset, when we're feeling powerless. We need to stop right there. When we're feeling even anxiety, we need to stop right there and be with that feeling, because the only way out is through. And she said, well, what if he says, when I'm angry, I need to express myself? And that's true. You need to express yourself. But if you're going to lash out, if you're going to treat someone not kindly, then what you need to do is you need to go inward. You need to rectify these feelings that you have that are overwhelming you. until you're ready to articulate in a smooth and harmonious way that is loving. Okay, so if he says he needs to express, as long as that is not angry and attacking, right? If he is sitting with his feelings, and this is going to be hard, this is going to take 5, 10, 20 minutes, maybe a few hours to process these emotions. But this is the way that the Buddha did it, right? It's through the Vipassana. It's through breathing and being present with this anger. And you might start sweating, and you might start shaking, and you might start feeling really intense. But this is the way to clear those emotions. I know so many people are having a ton of anxiety right now. I know for sure because I've been getting calls from my clients, from my friends, even from family who I don't even talk to that often, but they know that I do this work and I love this work, right? So what I'm saying is that the only way out is through. Okay, so you need to go within, as hard as that is. And I know it's not easy, especially when you're in the heat of the moment, feeling a lot of different things, and you want to just lash out. You just want to get it out. But let me tell you, what you got to do is just sit with these feelings, be present. And through that, that's the work. Through that is when you come out the other end. Okay, and if you need someone to guide you through those emotions, or if you need someone to help you process these different things, of course, I am a guide. You can definitely use me. Just email me yogawithconcha@gmail.com, and I'd be really happy. This is the work that I love. I'd be really happy to help you. Okay, so let's get right into our oracle card reading. Okay, so I am gonna pull a few cards for everybody who's watching this video. Okay, that includes you. Okay, so let me just take a breath here. All right, and we're gonna go for it. All right, give me a message. I'm talking to the cards. Give me a message that is meaningful, that is healing, that is helpful for my subscribers. And by the way, subscribe to this channel. And if you're on Instagram, Yoga with Concha. Okay, but anyways, I'm gonna pull a few cards here. I just got this one good card. Okay, I'm gonna pull a few. It's gonna paint us a picture. And this is anything meaningful that the people watching this video need to know, anything that's important for them to know about their situation, about their person, about their circumstance, about their work, about their love, whatever it is. Okay, all right. Okay, this is very interesting. All right. So what I'm gonna do first is show you what cards I got from the frequency deck. Okay, first card is a plum upside down, 71. We're gonna get right into it. All right, so I hope you're all having a wonderful day. All right, ready for the truth bombs? Okay, if you have drawn this card in reverse, you are currently feeling as if you have little control over your life. You may feel you have lost steering power over your life. You are now at its mercy. There is an overuse and abuse of authoritative power surrounding you at this time. This usually comes in the form of domineering and rigid thinking. It could be originating from you or from another person, often a boss, partner, or a father figure. You are in an unequal relationship. There may be an insecure person in your life throwing his or her weight around who has a need for control. Maybe that person is you. This is not the time to rebel against them. Instead, try to get in touch with your own need for control and stand up for what you know is right for you personally. Be for what you want without being against what others want. If you are feeling fed up with feeling powerless, the universe is calling you to your own power. It is calling you to make decisions in your own favor. Excuse me. Independence and freedom are in the works for you now. Embrace them both with your choices and actions. Break free from the confines of limiting structures in your life and the old traditional ways of doing things. If you are the authority, you may find that having to take an authoritarian role every day just does not sit well with you anymore. Whatever the case may be, now's the time to break yourself from what has been holding you back. Okay. Second card we got is self-exploration. Okay. Self-exploration, card 51. Okay. Let's 51. It says, if you have drawn this card upright, and it is upright, it's time to search within the different aspects of yourself for the purpose of self-discovery. You are being called within yourself to a place of total self-awareness on a spiritual, mental, and physical level. Keep in mind that you are multidimensional. So there are multiple angles from which the self can be approached. You are meant to see yourself more clearly by looking within yourself for the answers. Okay, so if you're one of those people who are like, always asking a friend what they think, always asking someone that you trust what they think, just remember, you want to get their input. You want to hear what they have to say as a perspective. You don't want to always just take their word for it and do that. You want to ask yourself, what is your truth? What is true for you? Use all their opinions as a resource to have some guidance on, okay, what perspectives are out there, and then go within and find what feels the best for you, okay? You are meant to see yourself more clearly by looking within for the answers. It's time to be introverted. Now's a time to get help from someone who can assist you to go within and explore yourself. You are living too much of your life in a state of subconscious reactivity. It is time to make yourself known to yourself. Be open to the idea that no matter how much self-exploration you have done in the past, you still don't know yourself at all. Okay, so if you feel like you don't know yourself, this card is saying that it's really time to get into your own self-exploration, understanding yourself, right? That's basically what the card is saying. Okay, the third card is self-awareness, right? You can't make these cards up. They're so good. Self-awareness upside down. Let's see what she has to say. Okay, card 16. If you have drawn this card in reverse, and it is in reverse, you are currently choosing denial over being honest with yourself. You're so afraid of seeing yourself as a bad person. And let me tell you, you are not a bad person. You are not a bad person. And I'll tell you why. You're not a bad person because think about it. Deep down, we are all this deep sense of love, right? We are love and light beings. But the problem is that because of our life experiences, because of all the crap that we go through, we put barriers on ourselves. We put barriers on our heart. We put barriers on the way we think. We let other people's opinions fog out what we really believe and feel, right? And this is just self-preservation. This is just let me fit in. This is just, you know what? We live in a community type of atmosphere. We need people around us. We need friends. We need family. So just remember that you still are your own person and you're not a bad person, okay? Okay. Let me get back to this. You are so afraid of seeing yourself as a bad person that you have buried the aspect of yourself that could be seen as bad, but that part of you did not go away. It is reflecting you in your reality, left and right, but you keep blaming it on the reflection. Okay, so here's some questions to ask yourself. What is it time to admit? What is it time to admit? What are you hiding from others? What are you hiding from the world? What are you hiding from the world? Okay, the things you hate and admire the most in others are the things you have denied and disowned within yourself. Okay? The things that you dislike in others are what you have disowned in yourself. You see that bubble, maybe you see that bubbly person who's always in a really good mood, and you hate that person. You're just like, that person is so annoying. But it's because you have buried that aspect of you that wants to be seen, that wants to come out, that wants to see the rainbows and the pumpkins and the flowers. Okay? If you see someone who is really good at their career, really, really good and very successful and doing well and super happy, and you really get triggered by them, you absolutely hate them, you have buried the part of you that wants to own who they are, this powerhouse, this power woman, this power man who is successful, who is, brilliant in their work. So remember, anything that you really dislike in others is something that you have buried deep within yourself. And it's really time to let that out, because you want to be a whole person. And in order to be a whole person, baby, you have to unbury what you have buried. And remember, just like I said before, when we bury stuff, it's because we live in a society where we need to fit in, right? I have buried in the past every single aspect of myself. That's why I say, if you are depressed, literally, it's because you have buried yourself. You had buried who you are with the opinions of others. You have buried who you are with trying to make mom and dad happy or someone you love happy. I remember when I was so obsessed with making someone in my life, my older sister, happy. I just wanted her love. I wanted her approval. I wanted her to respect and love me. And she didn't know how to at the time, right? And I was doing everything I could, which was totally against who I am. Like, she wanted me to major in business in school. And I was like, I was never going to graduate college if I did freaking do business or accounting or like something that is very technical, right? I was a creative writing and Spanish girl, right? I was a communication, human sexuality major, okay? So that's what I did. So when you're living your life to please others, when you're living your life to gain approval or to be seen as the good person, right? You are burying who you really are, and who you really are is unique and valuable, and you are a puzzle piece of this collective energy. We need you, right? We need you, okay? And if I didn't meditate I did so much meditation, you guys. I had done 7 Vipassanas and meditate every single day, and let me tell you, if I didn't do all that meditation, I would still be buried. And when I was buried, I was literally sleeping so many hours a day, right? So many hours a day. It was exhausting trying to please everybody, and you're not happy. So if this is the case and you need assistance, please reach out. Please reach out. Just send me a message, even comment below. Okay, so we are going to get into one last thing. We're going to get into this Teal Swan blind spot oracle deck, and this is literally, this one's gonna call your ass out. Okay, so if you can't handle it, I need you to click off right now. Okay, I need you to click off this video right now, because it's about to get intense. Okay, this is the intense part of the video, which is calling your ass out. Okay, these ones, I'm gonna pull 1 or 2 or 3 cards, however many want to come out, right? But it's for the highest good. It's for you, something meaningful, something healing. So let me see. Let's go ahead and shuffle these. We got one right here. Okay, let's do it. Let's see if anything else comes out. We got 1 card. I feel like that might be it. We got 2 cards. Okay, so let's see. We got card number 33 and card number 74. So let's talk about what these are. I'm feeling called to talk about 74 first. So let's get right into it. 74. Oof, this is juicy. Means to an end attitude. Okay, if you have drawn this card, you are doing something you hate in order to get something you need, want, or like. You are approaching things with a means to an end attitude. Through this, though this makes sense, it is a contradiction, and therefore it makes it very hard to feel good about getting what you need, want, or like. In many cases, it is impossible to actually get what you need, want, or like. I want you to imagine a person in a company wanting to climb the corporate ladder. Chances are they will try to come up with a strategy to achieve that goal of getting what they want. The strategy is carried out with a means to an end attitude, doing things we don't like and don't want to do in order to get what we want. We are approaching getting what we want in a way where the end justifies the means. But what we do is bulldoze the part of ourselves that doesn't want to and doesn't enjoy doing that something. We play a zero-sum game with the part within ourselves. Most of us will find ourselves in scenarios like this at some point, right? We all will find ourselves. Because like this one, like this frequency painting says, we have to know what we don't want in order to know what we do want, okay? But here, we're moving out of that. We're moving forward out of that, okay? Imagine every day of your life was lived this way, where the majority of the time you were doing something you didn't like and didn't want to do in order to get something you wanted. Here are some examples of what we do when we approach the world with this attitude. We volunteer for something we hate just to get praise we crave from someone. We work a job we hate in order to get money. We don't follow our dreams, but we stick close to home with one of our parents and live our lives the way they want us to live so we can get a sense of approval from others. We spend years in college studying something we don't even have a passion for so we can have credibility and accolades. We quit our job and become a stay-at-home parent so that we can see ourselves as a good person. Or the opposite, we want to be a stay-at-home mom, but we get a job instead so we can get societal esteem. We stay in a relationship that is abusive in order to get security. The question you need to ask yourself is, what do I really want? What am I currently doing in order to get what I want? What are the ways I am doing what I don't want to do in order to get what I do want? There's no way to live a happy life if you are living this way. People simply choose to settle in this way because they have been taught to believe that this is what everyone does when there is no other option. It is a reality that some people are in more difficult positions than others in terms of getting out of this strategy. This is especially true if we learned that when we were little that doing things we don't want to do was the correct strategy to use in order to get what we wanted. But difficult position aside, it must be understood that in order to live a happy life, everyone must strive to have a life where the strategy taken to getting what you want is different from doing something you don't like and don't want to do to get it. Okay. So what this is saying is that it's really time to change your strategy, and it's really time to look within and see what you can modify in order to live your life in a more fulfilled way. Bottom line. Okay, so if you have any questions, comment below. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? And then let's get right into 33. All right, let's see what this is about. Shame. Ooh, juicy. All right. Ooh, you know, I'm telling you, every time, I know this is gross, right? I know this is gross, but every time you burp, it is literally an energy release. You can, like, I'm telling you, trust me, this is an energy release. This is releasing that tight energy. This is releasing the heavy energy. Unless you're eating food super fast and you end up burping because you're eating food super fast. But I swear, anytime that I'm with my clients and they're burping, I'm just like, yes, let it out. Let that out. Get it out. All right. So shame. If you have drawn this card, you are not seeing or admitting to your shame, right? And we all have shame with something, okay? So shame is not shameful to have, okay? Because listen, I don't care who you are. Everybody has shame, okay? And I'm not saying that it's a good thing to have or that it feels good to have, but if everyone has it, doesn't that give you permission to feel like a little bit of light in the load? Like, you know what? Maybe everybody does have it. Maybe I'm not so alone in the shame after all. Okay, you need to attend to your shame. Shame is one of the most misunderstood aspects of social behavior. The reason for this is that most people think that shame is solely a mental and emotional response to self-diminishing experiences, beliefs, and thoughts. The truth is that shame is much more primal than that, and it's debilitating. To understand shame, imagine a sea anemone. Did I say that right? If you poke one with your finger, it will immediately pinch itself closed. This reaction happens as an instinctual level. It happens without the sea anemone having to think about what making it happen. It's organic, biological, effective reaction. This visceral reaction is comparable to your fight or flight mechanism. You do not have to think about jumping out of the way of an oncoming car. When your body perceives a threat, it reacts. If you feel that reaction, shame is actually a primitive reaction encoded in your organism, just like your fight or flight mechanism. There are only two basic energetic movements within this universe: to push something away or to bring it closer, right? Even the Buddha said, craving and aversion, right? There's only three ways to perceive the world, which is craving, aversion, and delusion, right? We know someone is either craving something to get pain, aversion, like, get away from me for pain, or they're in this crazy delusional world that they live in, and we've seen those people, right? Okay, so back to this. Love is an instinctual reaction to pull something closer to you. Fear is an instinctual reaction to push it away. And shame is an instinctual reaction to push yourself away from yourself. Ooh, that was juicy. Shame pushes yourself away from yourself. So instead of self-trusting, instead of self-loving, instead of finding ways to integrate, like, you know what? Yeah, that did happen to me. And that was shameful. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to accept myself and love myself anyways, even though that did happen, or whatever the case. That is integrating it. And of course, you know, this is a process, right? This is a process to integrate that shame, right? But those are awkward feelings. Those are very uncomfortable feelings. But, you know, I know that you can sit with those feelings and integrate that energy. Okay. Of course, you cannot actually do this, right? You cannot actually push yourself away from yourself. This is what it's saying. You cannot actually do this because your consciousness experiences a singular embodiment. The only way to push yourself away from yourself is through fragmentation. For this reason, we say that shame is a mechanism for fragmentation as well as suppression. Shame creates internal separation. So that part of your head that is beating yourself up for not being good enough, that part of your head that is, you know, giving you negative thoughts, telling you're not good enough, saying you're not worthy of love, saying you can't get that job because you, whatever silly reason, that is the shame. That is what shame is, right? And remember, this is something everyone experiences. Why do we experience that? Well, like what this book says, this is a fragmentation. So basically what that means is we have a consciousness that is in one focus, right? Here I am, focus on this camera, focus on you. But if I have an aspect that is triggered with shame right now, part of my consciousness is going to go in that direction. It's going to split off and it's going to stay in that feeling of shame, while this other part of me, which is focused on you, is going to avoid that at all costs, because if I look at that, it's not going to feel good. It's going to feel extremely uncomfortable. So what I do is I focus on you because I don't want to be focused on that shame, right? And when we do that, we dilute the consciousness that is streaming forward. We dilute our own focus, right? We dilute our own mechanism for manifestation and creating our lives. Now, when we see that shame, when we integrate it, when we just be with it, literally, we just be with it, we just be present with it, that is when we integrate it, right? And when we integrate it, it's literally like, if you can imagine a river that is flowing into the ocean, this river has streams that kind of shoot off of it. Now imagine that river is flowing super slow, especially when the river is low, right? When the water is low. But if you can imagine that none of those streams shot off the edge, right? And they were all in that one flow of the river would be gushing forward so fast. And that is what happens when we integrate our consciousness, when we integrate these aspects of shame, because we are integrating our viewpoint of where we're focusing. And when we allow ourselves to integrate and focus on that one thing without these, distractions and the shame and all of that other stuff, we are so powerful. We are so powerful. We are so powerful. Okay, shame creates internal separation. The number one need of the human ego is to see itself as good and to have others see it as good. Shame is all about seeing oneself as bad and having other people see us as good. The number one enemy to the human ego is shame. The ego will cope with shame through all of the classic coping mechanisms, by going into denial, by deflecting, by rationalizing it, by projecting, or suppressing, splitting into alter egos, converting it into physical symptoms, overcompensating, intellectualizing it. I used to intellectualize it. I used to do all of these, right? I know. Well, I'm sure that I do a lot of these anyways, right? Isolating themselves or self-injuring, for example. The thing that people deflect more than anything else is shame. Here are some examples of shame deflection. Okay, so here we go, some examples. A mother can feel shame when her infant expresses negative emotion toward her. It makes her feel like a bad mother. But the ego can't handle that, so she deflects shame onto the infant. She decides the infant must have something seriously wrong with it. Or a person asks for the honest truth from a friend in their life. The honest truth makes them feel ashamed of themselves. They can't handle the shame, so they decide that friend is a horrible person. All of this is an attempt to avoid accepting and admitting to the shame we feel and working with it directly. Badness in our human society is integrally linked to blame and fault. Recognize that relative to the situation at hand. You may be blaming yourself for something. That something may or may not have actually been your fault. Either way, self-blame is coming from a baseline of the self-concept of shame. And it's time to admit the shame, okay? And it's safe to admit the shame, okay? So let's get right into this. So got some questions for you. And I know this video is already 35 minutes, but we're going to get right into this, okay? Ask yourself, what do I feel ashamed of in a situation? What about the situation makes me feel like a bad person or defective or not good enough or wrong? You need to directly address and lovingly resolve whatever comes out of that questioning. Bring the parts of yourself that you are ashamed of closer to you and include them as part of you rather than push them away. Remember, that is just integration. It's just being present with it. You don't even have to do anything. I mean, we have to love ourselves more, but that is going to come naturally when we sit with that with that part of us that we feel so much shame about, because we are bringing that part in. We are feeling it. We are saying, hey, I see that you feel shame. You're telling yourself that. I see that you feel shame, that I feel shame, that we are in a shameful space, but that is okay. That is okay. Yeah, it feels bad. It doesn't feel good, but that's okay. Let's do this together. Me and me. You sit with it. It will integrate. It will integrate. I guarantee, I promise you 100%. And there's amazing practitioners that can help you with this. I can help you with this. No problem. I got you. This is the work I do. This is what I love to do, baby. And when we sit with it, that's when we can integrate it and feel more powerful and feel more like ourselves, more whole, more in that stream, that powerful stream of focus. All right. So it says, if you have drawn this card, it will benefit you to spend some time accepting that the energy is coming to understand its message as well. So bring the parts of you that you are ashamed of closer, include them. Allow yourself to feel them, honor them, know that it's all good, everybody feels it. And of course, like the frequency card said, you know, it's time to do a self-exploration on who you are, on what it is that you want. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So if you need help, you know, just feeling more confident, learning how to trust yourself, right? There are steps to learning how to trust yourself. If you want to stop going outside for all your answers and learn how to turn within, which is super effective and very empowering, and you want to let go of all those heavy emotions and process them, the best thing you can do is meditation. But if you're new to meditation, you're going to want to seek a guide, or you're going to want to just do 15 or 20 minutes a day. Don't do any longer, because when things come up, it can get very intense. Okay, so if you would like a guide, if you would like assistance, if you would like someone to help you for accountability and to partner with you to meet your goals and to integrate yourself, then feel free to reach out to me, okay? yogawithconcha@gmail.com. And of course, you can go to my website and look at all my offerings. It's conchajoy.com. And if you love this video, of course, subscribe to this channel, but also check out my Instagram, which is @yogawithconcha. And I got so many amazing resources on there, just stories that are inspiring and so many amazing things that will help you on your journey to integrating into being and feeling like your best version. Okay, so with that, I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. My name is Concha. Namaste.